Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, velvety smooth.
Velvety smooth with the Brothers Geek.
Mm.
Late night call-in show.
Weren't you working
Ooh,
at
it's a
late
lady.
oh, it's a weren't you
Ooh, it's a lady.
weren't you working on a late night call-in show? It was like jazz. You were working on K-Jazz one summer, right?
Oh,
Andrew?
I did that longer than a summer. I didn't work on the radio. I did promotions. Like when you hear the radio station go like, come out from 3 to 5, we're at Courtesy Chevrolet on Saturday and spin the prize wheel. I was the guy who drove like the prize machine and the K-Light van with like all the stupid crap.
The
K-Light. K-Light. What kind of music are they playing on K-Light?
Dude, it was adult contemporary. Back when it was
Sexy kind of.
We had the American Top 40. Like K-Light was the syndicated radio station for Casey Kasem. That like American Top 40 countdown on Saturday mornings.
Yes,
that was on K-Light.
God, you remember top 40 hits? Like that's crazy, man. Who listens to like radio anymore? No one, right? Like old people.
Father.
Our father.
I mean, I'll listen to NPR occasionally when I'm driving to work.
And I listen to NPR on Sirius.
Oh yeah, see.
I have the tech in my car, but I don't have it. I don't have a Sirius.
I listen to the Daily Show on podcast. I've like completely unplugged. I have no radio in my house. I think, like, I mean, there's some things that I'm like analog. Like I love vinyl, but like I don't like radio stations. Like they suck.
I don't listen to music. Period. I love music. I have tons of music. But the only time I really listen to music is when I'm working out or when I'm in the car. Like I just don't have music playing in the background as I'm like hanging out in the house. Like if I'm doing chores or something like that, maybe. Yeah. But if I'm doing dishes, I put my headphones in and I listen to like a podcast or a book on tape or something.
I mix between a podcast, a book on Audible, or sometimes music when I'm. But then I put on vinyl for Hannah and I. Like we're just hanging out with a baby and or people come over. I love to put on like some smooth jazz. It's good background music, you know.
Sure.
Yep.
Sure.
I would like to say, Christopher, I do own some Chris Christopherson. So like, don't knock Chris Christopherson. It's just
I'm not knocking Chris Christopherson. I was saying that's the music that was played on K-Light.
The smooth, the K-Light, but like top 40.
Dude, K-Light had their. I mean, they of course had DJs, and the DJs had followings. Like the guy's name was he must have had like a prime. I think he had the afternoon drive time. His name was Ray Vargas, and he would get women that would come out to the promotional spots to meet him. Ray Vargas, you're my favorite. Can I take a picture with you? I'm not kidding.
Was this guy like having sex with groupies? Was this guy?
Dude, I don't know, but he was pure just slime.
Like
He felt so greasy, dude. He was not like he had that velvety voice, that radio voice, but he felt like such a chode.
It's okay, so this is going to be like a long workaround, but I rewatched Wayne's World and Wayne's World 2, and there's that moment with Handsome Dan.
Dan.
You remember that? Where it's like, he's got the great voice, the great radio voice, and then they meet him, and he's like... He's like this little guy. Hi, I'm Handsome Dan, and it's like
he's like this short little dumpy guy with like a perm or whatever.
Yeah,
and his like Mr. Scream is like the tall built handsome dude, and all he does is scream in a microphone.
Yeah. No,
Mr. Scream.
Okay, I will say this since I rewatched this. It's on HBO Max. Wayne's World 1. Very funny still.
Yes.
Wayne's World 2, not as good. Definitely
not nearly as good.
Not nearly as good. There's some moments in Wayne's World 2 that are kind of good, but
to Tia Carrera.
Tia Carrera.
Right? She was the moment when that movie dropped.
Loki.
She was such a smoke show.
Oh, what about Tia Carrera in True Lies, bro?
Oh
my
yeah,
God,
Yeah, she was lights out in that
dude,
movie.
those movies came out within like 3-4 years of each other. Like Wayne's World came out like early 90s, and I think True Lies was like mid 90s.
Dude,
that was the peak of her career.
Peak.
I love True Lies. Like I think True Lies is a solid like action
It's
flick.
a really good action movie. It really is.
Yeah. So,
Did you see
but
the
Jamie Lee Curtis like striptease is a little awkward now. Like it's like that's your mom stripping or something. It's like,
Right,
yeah.
she's smoking hot.
She is a smoke show in that movie.
Yeah.
There's like a network TV show based on True Lies.
Yeah.
Oh really? Oh wow.
Yeah. It's the guy who was I remember he did a sitcom back in the day with Reba McEntire, and then he did Shameless. He played like a bartender. He was like a friend of the Gallagher family or whatever, and now he plays like the secret agent.
Nice.
Yeah, Steve Howie or something is his name.
Huh.
But I don't know who the woman lead, his wife, who finds out that he's a secret agent. I don't know her name. But I just know that it's like a series. Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to cash in on some of that nostalgia, man.
Yeah, right. To everybody, like, there's no new ideas. Everything is just like a rehash or a remix of something we've already seen.
Well, existing IP, dude. That's where all the money is. Hence the movie we're going to talk about, Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, are we doing a podcast? Hello, we are the Brothers Geek, and this is our podcast. This is episode number 186. We're recording this on April 3rd. Thank you. We're brothers. We're geeks. We talk about geeky things. Hello, my brother Christopher.
This is the way.
And my brother Andrew.
I'm wearing a Mandalorian shirt, but my Mandalorian shirt says, I'm all ears. It's funny because Grogu has ears.
But yes,
hello.
Thanks for straightening that out.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a funny joke. I needed a green shirt. I was going out on St. Patrick's Day, and I needed a green shirt, so I bought this shirt.
We explain our jokes.
It doesn't make sense unless you explain it.
Explain it, absolutely. That's the whole thing with humor. You got to explain it.
So, okay, we're gonna be all over the place because we're brothers and we're geeks, but we are gonna be talking about Dungeons and Dragons. Should we try to no spoilers as much as we can?
Professional podcasters.
Professional
podcasters.
Light spoilers if possible. So
I don't think people are that invested that they're going to be upset if we spoil this movie.
If we spoil it, we might try not to spoil it as much as you can because it just came out. But
you got to respect it.
But it like we'll try to keep it light. But there might be some moments that you know.
We're going to talk about the whole movie. If you don't want to hear anything,
it's a warning. Yeah, exactly.
But right now, Patrick. Timestamp. Yep.
Timestamp. Okay, I got it. Okay, I'm writing that down.
Professional podcasters. See.
Okay, well, Christopher.
You're only professional if you
as our elder
make money
D&D.
doing this.
What's happening?
What are you doing, Patrick?
You can only make. You're only professional if you make money doing it. So
true enough.
Oh wait, that's
as our D&D elder, Christopher. What was your reaction to seeing the movie?
I was excited that it wasn't shit.
Oh, yeah.
That's something to say.
It was not bad.
I mean, honestly, that's my reaction. I was super stoked that it wasn't a piece of shit movie.
Yeah.
And then there were definitely moments of glee for me.
Did you have a Leonardo DiCaprio in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood moment where you're like, oh, I know what that is. I know what that is. You had one of those.
Totally had
the meme.
Yeah, the meme.
Gimmick, the Displacer Beast. Underdark.
Which one's the Displacer Beast?
The panther with the
tentacles.
Giant
panther with but it's got 6
Devourer,
legs. It's got 6 legs.
Devourer in the Underdark. Awesome monster. Yeah.
Yeah, the Underdark is like a whole thing. Like there's a whole ecosystem that lives underneath the ground. So
they 100% they need to make a movie with Driss and the Underdark.
Oh well, I mean, there was a bunch of
Yeah.
there's a bunch of announcements this week for D&D, and one of the things they said was Joe Manganiello. I don't know how to say his last name.
You got it right. You got it right.
Manganiello. He got on there and he was talking about how they're making a Dragonlance TV show that he's producing, and he's been pushing for this for a while. So maybe we get a Dritz in that. Maybe, but he's in the Forgotten Realms kind of books. There's a Dragonlance series and a Forgotten Realms series, so it's like I don't know how much they're gonna dip.
I've read / listened to the first 3 Dritz novels.
I have completely
story in the Underdark is awesome.
I have completely glazed over.
Dritz is a drow who's like a badass.
Don't explain it to me. I'm not that invested.
What?
You know what? Shut up.
Question, Andrew. There were definitely moments of as I said, Glee, because movie wasn't crap. I thoroughly enjoyed elements of the storyline, and the fan service was a great enjoyment.
Okay.
Yeah, it didn't feel like okay. So I mean, everybody liked this movie, right? You saw it, Andrew. You liked it.
I liked it. Yeah, I thought I was entertained.
Coming from that side of it, where Christopher was playing D&D in the 80s with his friends as a youth till now, and then Andrew, who hasn't played a lick of D&D in his life, you still enjoyed the film, and
from the point of view of I know that D&D exists. And it's a role-playing game, and there's an aspect to it where you can play as different characters that you build over time, and your campaign can last for months and never end, and you have a dungeon master and
years. It can last years.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I am familiar enough with that aspect of it. Just like I've played 10 minutes of WoW in my life, but I know enough about it that I can be dangerous about what WoW is and all that. I was entertained for the 2 hours and 15 minutes. I did not feel that I wasted I bought 4 tickets to the thing, so the 60 or $65 that I spent to go to the movie, I absolutely did not feel like I wasted my money. I had a good time. And whether or not, so I'm trying to think about this, whether or not that D&D is the trope, or D&D just feeds on so many classic ideas that exist in fantasy, or it was the originator of those ideas. I know enough about what a bard is. I know enough about what a wizard is.
I will correct you on one thing you just said. Is the rest of fantasy feeds on D&D for all its ideas.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. So I know enough about the fantasy genre, high fantasy in
Lord
general.
Lord of the Rings came out in the 30s, dude.
Exactly.
Yeah, but sure.
But the idea of classes and races all existing in a world with magic and swords and sorcery, and you can still have
orcs,
all that stuff.
Goblins,
I know enough
dragons.
That I could get kind of some of the inside jokes. There's a couple things I want to know. So, is the Harpers, that Chris Pine's secret society, is that a thing that exists in the game? You can play and join the Harpers guild or whatever. Is that a thing?
Forgotten Realms.
Okay.
I had to look this up because I'd never heard of them, but they are from the Forgotten Realms lore, and they are a group of semi-do-gooders that are spies kind of a thing. Okay. And they work without a government overseer kind of a thing.
Okay.
But
self-fiction, Tolkien was writing The Lord of the Rings in the 30s, published in the 50s.
Got it.
Good.
So I know
just 20 years before the first. So this is a tiny little bit of a drawback. I read a couple of headlines about reviews, and the headline that I saw is it's a fantasy Guardians of the Galaxy, it's got that vibe, which colored my opinion because it definitely has that vibe. It's Chris Pine is the planner. He's the Chris Pratt role, whatever. That stuck in my head, and it totally works on that level. It's the found family. It's the people who are broken and lost in other parts of their lives,
finding purpose in this big group and then becoming better as a whole. So if that originates in our common whatever because of Guardians of the Galaxy, then this movie works on that exact same level, and it works really, really well. This is such a tiny little quibble, but I'll say the fact that Justice Smith, who played the wizard, the not so great wizard, the fact that he chose to play it with like a generic like English accent, even though he's American. He's the only person who plays it with that particular accent. It totally took me. I bumped on it because I know he's an American, but he chose to play it with like a generic English accent, which just kind of annoyed me a little bit. That's all. And even the woman, the actress who plays the Red Wizard, Safina, she's English, and she plays Safina with the generic American accent. So I'm like, what kind of choice are you making here, Justice, that you're playing your character with an English accent? But
maybe it's because they got Hugh Grant in the movie. It's like they can't have just one guy with the American accent. And
I loved Hugh Grant.
But then
Hugh Grantness.
The Thayans, like what's his name, had an accent too, right? Zank, who was played by
Renee.
Renee. But he did an English accent, right? Or no?
He played. Well, he's in his natural accent. He's naturally an Englishman.
So there was like a mixture of accents, but like you're bumping on the one guy that didn't have an English.
He chose to speak in an English accent, even though I know he's American.
So
I bumped on that. That's all.
What if it's like because he's a wizard and he's educated? Like we associate like the English accent in the United States with like this intelligence, this educated kind of vibe. So I don't know.
I love the little touch at the very beginning where they're having the parole board and you're waiting on the guy to show up at the end, and it turns out to be a griffin, like this, like he's snobby, like aristocratic griffin.
I don't know how to say it. Hold on, let me look. He's I gotta correct this.
Like, am I getting the name of his race wrong?
Yes.
Okay.
They are a certain kind of race.
He's like a Birdman, though. He's a
bird. He's a Birdman, but what are they called?
Okay,
they're called Arkoraka.
He's a Birdman.
I
love it.
Arkoraka. Here, let me look up how to say that.
I really liked it, and I liked how it paid off with the scheme at the end. I thought it was a fun little, why Safina and Hugh Grant's character were working together. It was a fun movie. It was a fun way to spend 2.5 hours in a theater for sure. What did you think of it as a dungeon master, Patrick?
His character was playing an Aarakocra Ranger.
Aarakocra Ranger.
Okay, he's a Birdman.
He's a Birdman. Okay, so I'm the middle ground, but I'm currently playing D&D. So I didn't play it as a kid and playing it as an adult, and I'm really into it now. I loved it. I got some of the references. I missed some of them. There's even like, did you notice the other team that was going into the maze, Andrew? Did you notice those?
Did.
Oh, they were the cartoon. From the 80s.
Oh yeah, okay.
Like the other, there was like Hank the Barbarian, and
that was such a great Easter egg. I just love that.
Oh my god, I love that they're in there. There's lots of weird shit that like
I watched that religiously Saturday mornings. So.
That's fun.
Right.
That's cool.
I
knew it was a reference to something like that because I don't think I think I've watched that show a little bit, but I wasn't ever like it wasn't like part of my like Dungeons and Dragons.
It's a little before our time, I think, Andrew. We were very young when that show was going. But Daniel is calling me right now. Shall we pause? Gotta pause.
Probably sure. Let's pause. Why not?
All right, our other brother wanted to call and be part of the show. Sorry about that. Pause. We're back. What were we talking about?
Behind the scenes, Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Cube. Enjoyed freaking gelatinous cube in a Dungeons and Dragons movie. It's freaking awesome.
It was freaking awesome. I mean, those things are kind of goofy. It's this giant gooey like square, but they are terrifying.
They dissolve you.
You get into it and you're stuck. You're stuck and you just die. You're just it's just acid away, and it sucks. And surprisingly, if did I ever tell you guys this story about so I was just playing a Dungeon Master for the first time, and I had 3 level 4 characters, and this is during the pandemic, and one of them is Hannah, and I threw a gelatinous cube at them, which is level 2, by the way. But I knew that it was a tough monster because I had done my research, but they were level 4, and it got a hold of her, and she just kept failing her rolls to get out of it, and it just was like chucking hit points away from her, and she was like 5 hit points from death, and I had just convinced these people to play. And I was like, oh god, this is it. I'm gonna kill it.
Your game's gonna be over before it really gets off the ground.
Yeah, exactly. So I was sweating bullets. I was like, just somebody kill this damn thing quickly. So
how do you kill a gelatinous cube?
That's when you exercise Dungeon Master prerogative.
Yeah.
You say, okay, you made your saving throw and you escaped.
Right.
I mean,
right. Yeah.
How do you kill a gelatinous cube? Is there a specific combination of things, or you just got to beat it?
I haven't looked at it. I'm pretty sure you need magic weapons to hit it, and that's part of the threaten part of it. And
it's like it's weak to fire. And
it's weak to fire, and if it's like it moves really slowly, but if it gets a hold of you, like
edge weapons do. Blunt weapons do terrible against it.
Yeah, because it's the gelatinous, it absorbs it.
Yeah, right.
I can understand that. There's a logic to this. So, my wife, who is a fan of dragons in every single form, is like absolutely in love with the fat red dragon that was in the movie. I did all up,
and I didn't know that was like a real thing from lore too. Like, Chris has got the. That is a named dragon that's been in lore before. That is like this fat egomaniac dragon that's just eaten. He's eaten so much that he can't really fly anymore.
Yeah, tiny little wings. That was we were dying.
But like
that scene is so fun.
Yeah, and it's sort of just like this funny thing where it's like it's terrifying, but also like.
It has character to it.
It has character to it. It's different than just a dragon. It's a fat dragon. And there was lots of that throughout the movie, too. Just like everything had a nice little fun spin to it. This is, okay, so I will say, I mean, we didn't watch like Shawshank Redemption or anything, but the movie is so entertaining and fun that it's like you can look past a lot of... And I love all the little... the best thing I can say is like vignettes where it's like, okay, they got to break into the traveling cart that has all the gold in it so that they can sneak something in. I love she sneaks in wild shape and then she's got to run. It wasn't like a quick scene. It was like, oh, they're after her now, and she's got to get out of the city.
Yeah, that chase scene through the keep
was awesome.
Yes, there's a great action scene.
Just a lot of those little things were really cool, and I started to nitpick a little bit. Like, what level of? I started to like think about it, and they released their stat blocks for all the characters, and I'm pretty sure that they're like level 7, right?
That's a deep cut.
They're like level 7. She cannot wild shape that much as level 7. Just saying.
Wow.
She wild shaped too many times.
There's a limit of how much she can do it.
There's a limit on how many times you can do it at that level.
Ah.
So if they're gonna, there's lots of like hand waving. It's not the same as the.
Don't be the rules lawyer.
I'm a rules lawyer. I'm sorry. I had to do it once. I kept thinking about it. Well,
Owlbear is the first, breach of the rules.
I know. Well,
why is that a breach of the rules?
Because an owlbear isn't a beast.
Yeah.
It's a newly created beast.
It's a monstrosity.
No, an owlbear is in the game.
Owlbear.
Normally you can't change into a druid can't change into an owlbear because druids can only change into beasts.
Yes. That's how you limit what they can do.
When the trailer dropped, the rules lawyers came out of the woodwork saying, "You can't do this."
I remember reading that, hearing that chatter on the internet.
I call them the actually guys. The actually. I used to, when I worked at a comic book shop, I used to hear that like weekly. Actually.
Actually.
Fuck you and your actually.
That's the appropriate response when somebody hits you with an actually. You're just like, fuck you. Eat shit.
Yeah. So what else is like really good? Oh, I love the Chris Pine distraction as a bard when it's just like an illusion. Just love that.
Sorry. You said they dropped the character level blocks for each of the characters.
Yeah.
What level was the paladin? Because Kira and I were talking about this.
Okay. I have some fun. So he's listed as level 7 also, but no way. So, but here's
he smoked all those fools, dude. Kira and I said he's got to be 15 or to 20.
I will. Oh yeah, he's 15 easily. But here's the theory that I love running around the internet is he is actually a silver dragon in disguise as a human.
Ooh.
Because like you never see his god, you don't know when he's a boy takes place. Like that could have been hundreds of years ago. And he's got dragon scale, silver dragon scales on his pauldrons.
Nerdy. I love this. Go deeper.
What else? He knew the name of the red dragon by name.
Yes.
What else? What else did I read that I was like, ooh, that kind of lines up.
I love this theory.
He was powerful and had knowledge of the Underdark and yes.
Not be a level 7 like they are. No way.
No way. The dude
he handles all those undead assassins.
What is even happening right now?
I love it.
I love it.
It's so good. It's so good. Definitely like he's doing some crazy good fighting
crazy.
stuff.
Here's the question: will you guys go see it again in the theater, or will you like pick it up on DVD, or what's the plan for repeat viewings?
So like Hannah, we couldn't find a babysitter, so I had to go with my D&D group because she knew I was excited about it. So I want to go take Hannah to go see it. So I got to go see it in the theater again with her. But I think I got to own this movie because it's like it's like it belongs in my collection
with all the Easter eggs and with like the deep lore and the world building of it all. The director's commentary, writer's commentary.
Oh my god,
a lot of fun to listen to.
Oh my god, I will totally do that. Yeah,
I will be purchasing the ultra high def.
Nice.
Yeah,
disc on this. Yeah,
that's amazing.
I had. As a complete aside, I purchased the Batman on Blu-ray specifically because I want to listen to Matt Reeves and his commentary for the movie. Just because, I mean, that guy's such a smart filmmaker, and I mean, he wrote and directed it. I mean, it's in a box now. I won't watch it until after we move, but I want to Yeah, that guy's great, and I love I when people say, I mean, it must be an ultra nerdy thing because I know, I mean, Ashton told me she has never watched a movie with the commentary on, and I'm like, that's one of my favorite things about Blu-rays is when there's a director's commentary, and I like the director, I will absolutely listen to his commentary about the movie. There's so much insight there, and so I mean, listening to someone and their creative process is so fun for me. But that's an ultra nerdy thing.
Yeah, I mean, some of the, I mean, now he's sort of canceled, so I don't know how this works, but I love watching Firefly with Joss Whedon commentary. That's like one of the best commentaries I've
Listening
ever...
to his thought process
were awesome.
Yeah.
Listening to his thought process, and yeah, I mean, he sounds like he's an absolute shitty person to work with and be on set, and how he treats people and women especially. But yeah, I mean, it's undeniable that he's a talented filmmaker, talented storyteller.
Well, that's how, I mean, sort of people have said that Michael Bay is a piece of shit, but at least he isn't like directly, no one's calling him racist yet. It's like they basically called Joss Whedon racist and sexist. So
I mean, how he treated it definitely sounds like how he treated Gal Gadot and his treatment of Cyborg and the actor who played him for the theatrical Justice League definitely sounds pretty freaking terrible. Sounds like he's pretty much a piece of shit.
Anyways, Dungeons and Dragons. What else? I mean, here's what I'll say. There's a moment at the end, and I'm sure you guys are gonna know. It's like this is a D&D movie, and it's pretty fun and light and good. But there's a moment at the end that got me a little misty. I'm not gonna lie. Like that's good filmmaking. They cut to flashbacks of a character with another character, and I was like, damn, that's maybe it's because I'm a dad. Like it's like it kind of hit me hard. Like I was like, damn, that's good, dude. That's
and it's I'm not a dad, but it hits me on the emotional level of this is a selfless choice by him, and his pursuit through the entire movie has been more or less selfish. So it shows the character arc, and it also gets into as a man with many close female friends, that platonic relationship that Chris Pine or the character I forget their names, I don't remember their names, but the Chris Pine character and the
Edgin and
I'm blanking on the actor's name and the character's name, the barbarian. Michelle Rodriguez. Michelle Rodriguez. Yeah, Olga. Yeah, Holga. Holga and Edgin, their platonic brother-sister found family relationship they have that is great. Like I love the fact that there isn't a moment of romance between the two of them. They find each other, they bond, they raise a child together, and he makes the choice at the end that is good for the child and also good for her. So I love that. I love that part. It's a great payoff.
That, I mean, I was trying to be unspoilery, and you just went very spoilery. So
I didn't get.
I hope everybody listens to my spoiler-free part. Okay. Right. What else? Did I really like? I just love all the spells and the Zastam stuff and the Red Wizards. I mean, it was so cool, and I was like racking my brain of like all the spells that they were using to try to figure. I guess they made up a lot of the magic items, and since then, Wizards of the Coast has made all the magic items so you can play. There's a lot of crossover. They did this really smart. Like you could get the horn that they got. You could get the staff that does the teleport now. You get the helmet. Like there's all these, like there's stat blocks for those things, and they're in the game now. They're part of D&D.
That's cool.
So I love that there's that overlap. What were we gonna say, Andrew? Sorry.
Where the locations that they talked about in the movie exist. in various forms of the game, right?
Neverwinter is a very prominent city, and then the ice.
A primary map.
Yeah, it's This is Sword Coast, and they talk about, they mentioned Baldur's Gate at least once.
Yeah,
and
I knew that was like an adjacent thing to D&D.
Yeah,
because you got. I mean, Chris.
No, it's in the Sword Coast. It's part of their lore, man.
D&D, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's the Forgotten Realms. It's their landscape.
Baldur's Gate is one of my all-time favorite video games. That game is amazing.
So,
yeah,
the Colosseum with like the games and the labyrinth, is that a thing that exists in the game too, or is that a construction for the movie? Like in the game, you can create an adventure where your party ends up in a Colosseum with this labyrinth where they have to fight beasts. Is that something that is constructed in the game?
I don't know Neverwinter that well to know I'm sure that there's like a Colosseum in Neverwinter that you could just throw in there, and then that's just like a smart, and that's like the level of intelligence that went into this, is like you have a Colosseum with a maze that's moving, with a creature that's hunting you, with a mimic and a gelatinous cube in it. It's like brilliant. Like that was just like Easter egg.
That would be like a campaign. That would be like an instance or a campaign that a dungeon master would come up with.
Yes, absolutely. And it's like, I love the stakes where there's like 3 groups of adventurers who are working their way through. So it's like you got some competition, and you got people running you, like creatures chasing you down. And then you can like find weapons. You start off with no weapons, so you find weapons in the thing. That's a great like start to that'd be a great start to a campaign right there. Is like throw them in a maze with 2 other groups, and hey, are you gonna have to fight the other groups too? It's like, if you run into them, sure. It's like so there. It just there's fun. There's a lot there. So
I like it.
It makes me want to see the map of Neverwinter, and it doesn't look like there's a Colosseum in the map.
Yeah,
so
there's a map of Neverwinter. Like it's like that exists.
It makes me want to see the movie again.
Yes, it's that good. If you haven't, if you've made it this far and we haven't spoiled too much of it, just go see it. It's really good.
Yeah, you'll enjoy it.
Yeah. I would like to mention a couple other things that I'm watching. Sure. If we're watching Shadow and Bone season 2. Hannah hadn't seen Shadow and Bone season 1, so we binge watched it so as much as you can with a baby, and now we're in the middle of season 2. It's not as good as season 1, but you could tell that it's not as much money and not as good of writing, and the production value seems to be a little not as good, and it took like 3 years to do. So I don't know. We can see that, Christopher. I don't know what you're doing, but
I will say this about because I watched season 1 and I was not like totally invested in it. Like Ashton and I watched it together, and then season 2 dropped, and it's the same complaints for me as season 1. The female lead is the least interesting character. The Sun Summoner is the least interesting character. The Darkling,
I didn't get bumped on that too much. The
Darkling, the crows are awesome. They are by far the best aspect of the show.
Have you finished season 2? Did you guys?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Okay.
I have.
Don't spoil too much, because I love their storyline is even better. There's the show is not as good in season 2, but their storyline is still fun, at least. They still have like an interesting story that's going on. Have you watched any of Shadow and Bone, Christopher?
Yeah, I didn't finish season 1.
It's okay. I liked it.
I didn't feel compelled to finish. So
if I had to say anything that I was most impressed with was the slightly off kilter kind of Russian and English, the Russian and then kind of like the Irish and then the North African, West African kind of nations that they build and are where the different storylines are set, and the Chinese, the South Asian kind of
the
country as well. Pulling all that together, that is compelling and interesting for me, and like kind of the incorporation of slightly kind of reinterpreted mythos from those 4 locations and how that builds in the general kind of mythos and magic system of this world where the story takes place is interesting and I think well executed. But of the like 10 main characters, only like 4 of them are actually compelling, or 5 of them are actually compelling. Like half the storylines are disposable for me. So
I think that the value that the good parts that were in season 1, and it was just fun, like fantasy, like definitely diminished, and the production value, like I said, the production value went way down. You could tell that it's cheaper looking. And
I didn't bump on any of that, but
it felt cheaper to me. And it just took too long. So,
and it's only 8 episodes.
Yeah, we're on episode 4.
Okay. Let me know if it pays off better for you guys, because I finished it, and it doesn't. When it kind of ramps up again in the second half is when it got more compelling for me. The first few episodes are slow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I haven't seen John Wick. Have you guys seen John Wick 4?
Yes.
Christopher went.
No.
Christopher, is it the best John Wick of the 4? That's the chatter that I'm hearing. It's not.
Nope.
Okay. Would you see it again?
The first one is definitely the best one.
Okay.
But it's good. Christopher?
Oh. Yes, you all need to see it and decide for yourself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll have to see that and talk about it.
Ashton and I are very much enjoying School Spirits.
Oh,
we watch it's appointment television for us. We watch it every Thursday.
Yeah, go watch School Spirits on Paramount Plus.
It's too damn slow, dude. Too damn slow.
I need the mystery to get going. I'm with Christopher on that.
I like it. No, it's not about the mystery.
Too slow.
It's about relationships.
Now, Peyton List is a compelling lead. She carries the show well. I am less interested in other parts of the show, but she is enjoyable to watch. So I like her. We need more of her mystery. We need more of that. It needs to be a deeper mystery. Hopefully, it pays off well.
We're gonna find out in the next 2 episodes.
They introduce, but they don't flesh out I want to know more about the afterlife bullshit. Like why? I mean, the rules associated with that. They like hint at a couple things, but they don't even go into that. It's way too. It has an interesting premise, but then it devolves into this CW bullshit. So that's annoying.
Well,
I can see some of that. I'm enjoying enough of it, but I need the mystery to be more compelling. Hopefully, it will be in the next 2 episodes.
It's definitely got
Hannah's episodes coming up, right?
Yes.
We have theories about who's at the heart of everything. Susan and I, it's like you said, appointment television. It's appointment television because Hannah's involved.
Yeah.
And if Hannah was not involved, I would not be watching it.
Well, it's a teenage kid show, so
and what it is. I understand.
Yeah. So it's lighter fare for sure. And I'm not bumping on the things you're bumping on. I think the characters are fun and it's got this quirky tone that is enjoyable. And the past episode was really good, actually. The homecoming dance.
The homecoming episode was
pretty fun.
Best one, yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
And so yes, the next 2 episodes, 7 and 8, are Hannah, and those are the last 2 episodes, and she's pretty excited about it. We're watching it this week, so please watch School Spirits if you're listening to this podcast.
I will absolutely watch the last 2 episodes.
Yes, but
we gotta talk about we haven't wrapped up Last of Us.
Oh yeah, it's good. I was surprised that it would ended like it ended. I was surprised that. Well,
did you know where it was going?
Well, no, not really. I did not know. The ending is sort of like he makes a choice, right? He makes a choice to save her instead of humanity. Like she's gonna die to save humanity, and he decides no. So he like dooms humanity basically for what's the second choice? To lie to her about it.
Right.
That's the more compelling choice.
The combination of both of those makes it a fascinating story.
And that's why it's like a good television, because he just like, I mean, so well written, so well executed, really, really well made. Like, I don't have any problems with it really. Like,
no, it's one of the best I think it's one of the best seasons of television I've ever seen.
And the story is like pretty good, and I'm excited about more. And Pedro Pascal, Jesus man. Oh, speaking of him, like, you guys are up to date on The Mandalorian season 3?
I'm behind.
You're behind?
It's not as good. This season is not that great.
Not quite as compelling as previous seasons.
Yeah, the writing is kind of flat, and it is becoming like the Bo-Katan show, and it's like I
really have a problem with that because I like that character. I liked Bo-Katan from Clone Wars and from Rebels.
Yeah.
And clearly, oh god, Dave Filoni. The fleshing out of the Mandalorian culture is like his thing. I mean, he did it in Clone Wars, he did it in Rebels, so it's like his thing to see that now. But this season isn't as compelling as past seasons for me. It's just I don't know.
The episodes aren't as there. The episodes aren't as good, and I think it has to do with a lot with, like the Mandalorian isn't the center. He's like part of a group.
I'm going to I'm going to bump on that. I think my favorite episode so far is one that was on Coruscant.
Oh, I hated that.
I love that episode. I thought it was the most interesting episode of the season so far with the doctor and the double agent.
Oh my god.
I thought that was great.
Okay.
I thought it was a great episode.
No.
Yeah.
I hated I couldn't wait to be not there ever again. Nope. I didn't care about
I liked it a lot.
Ugh. I hated it.
Yeah.
I hated it. I just couldn't get why are you taking this detour? Like, this is not
I just
that
let
guy's
the story
show.
Evolve how it's going to evolve, and I judge it on its merits. And it was a compelling hour of television.
I couldn't wait for it to be over.
I like that episode because I like the fleshing out of the universe. So
yes, the New Republic and its inherent flaws and how it is not destined to succeed because we know where it goes with the sequel trilogy. The downfall is being even more fleshed out. All the mistakes that they're making try to create this utopia, and it's rotten from the inside.
I don't like that the point that they're trying to make is not very smart. Like the writing doesn't feel thought out. Compared to Andor, where everything is like very smart and methodical and thought out, and this just seems so sloppy. Like you get all these guys from you get all these guys. Hold on. You get all these guys from the Empire, and you put them in one place, and then you don't watch them. You don't have any oversight over them. Like Of
course they do, because he gets caught. That's the oversight, dude. They give him enough rope to hang himself. He gets caught at the end. But that's the oversight.
But
what are you talking about?
But the woman that takes him to get caught.
He has to meet with a robotic caseworker every day.
She's secretly bad, right? She secretly did that on purpose.
She has her own agenda, sure. But I mean, I think you're leaving out key ideas. That it's a failure. What they're doing is failing this guy. It's not actually reforming him. It's setting him up in this system that is not designed to work. They think it should work, but it doesn't. It's failing the people they want to better. That's the whole point. That's what they're building to, is that the New Republic is destined to fail. They're not going to be the utopia that they want it to. Yeah.
I hate everything you're saying. I dislike.
I find it compelling.
Okay. Well,
anyway.
Also, speaking of, Star Wars, Star Trek, well, I'm on the 3rd episode of Picard. Okay. It's pretty good.
Yeah. This season is good.
It moves along. It's exciting. It's got some true like Star Trek-y moments. It's a good season at Star Trek.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good, guys. I really hated season 1 and 2. I didn't even finish season 2.
I didn't finish season 2.
Awful, yeah.
Awful, so bad.
And this is pretty good. Like, man, okay. Go watch Picard season 3.
Very good. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's all I'm really.
We're such huge our Trek is next gen.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
So the fact that they're incorporating more next gen characters, that they recognize that Picard is at his best when Riker is standing next to him and Crusher is standing on the other side of him, and exploring this aspect that they haven't really dove into that much of what is Picard like if he has paternal feelings for someone, all that is great. And they're finally recognizing that, you know what? Patrick Stewart can do anything. He is one of the greatest living actors. Put him on screen, give him something to say. He'll make you believe it. But for it to be a good Star Trek story, Picard needs that next-gen crew around him for it to really work. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why it's hitting so well. It's not just even the nostalgia factor that's pulling on her heart. It's like they are at their best when they're around each other.
100%. 100% agree with that. Okay, well, that's all I'm watching, I tried to watch Yellowstone. That's a dark-ass show, bro.
Dark.
Like,
I gave up.
I'm only watched like 3 episodes, and I'm like, this show's stressing me out. Dude,
I made it into season 3, and I gave up. I'm like, it's way too dark, way too violent, and way too... Yeah.
Dude, I watched 3 episodes, and I think it's way too dark, way too violent. Jesus Christ. It's like...
Yeah. And you don't like any of the characters. Like, even... Yeah. You don't like anybody. It gets to the point where you don't like anybody.
That's great. I like the one main guy, the son, but like, yeah.
Eventually, you're just like, yeah, they're all murderers.
Yeah,
I can't. All they do is kill people that get in their way.
That's insane. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not really genre television. But I gave it a shot.
It's a Western. It's genre because it's Western.
I guess you're right. Anything else you guys got to talk about? Is that it?
I'm watching, this is genre because it's like a detective and legal drama. I'm watching Perry Mason on HBO. I really like it.
That show.
Yeah.
I didn't watch any of season 1, so is it good?
It is terrific. Yep.
But it's like slow burn, like detective. Yeah.
It's a slow burn detective show.
Characters are compelling. The mystery is compelling.
And I love the 1930s LA setting.
Yep.
I love that setting.
I'll have to convince Hannah to watch it. Maybe I watch it by myself. Who knows?
Really good.
It's really good, dude.
All right. Good.
Cool.
Any trivia, Andrew?
No trivia. I just wanted to talk to my brothers.
Fine. If you'd like to help Andrew with his trivia...
Okay, here's some trivia. Yeah. Here's some trivia. The actress who plays Safina is the daughter of a beloved actress, is the daughter of a beloved actor for one of our favorite shows that was on the CW way back when. Do you know who the beloved actor is? That's the father of the actress who played Safina?
Whoa, no.
So Safina, her name is... Let me get this right. Daisy Head.
Anthony Stewart Head, Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
the daughter of Anthony Stewart Head from Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh my God! Really?
Right? How cool is that?
Wow! That's crazy, dude.
Yeah. A little bit of
Buffy.
trivia for you guys.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. If you'd like to help Andrew with his trivia, you should email him at kingdomthenorth52@gmail.com. Email the podcast, brothersgeekpodcast@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter, brothers_geek on twitter.com, because we're not really on Twitter anymore. Brothers Geek, do stuff on Instagram. BrothersGeek.com. We're on Spotify. We're on iTunes.
Wherever you get your pods from.
BrothersGeek.com. Yes?
I was going to say, I hope everybody continues to roll a nat 20.
Good one.